Hi Pratham, thank you so much for joining back again. I'm bugging you again. So last time we mostly discussed about your story because that also in itself is very unique and extremely insightful for anyone who is your age or even like older than you, who is trying to learn blockchain development and who is trying to mostly learn things and make a mark. Now, in after I put up your video, a lot of people started asking about how to get into blockchain development, what to do, and what things to learn. So I thought, like, why not dedicate just one complete video to blockchain development, and so that people can take help from it. And just for the people who are seeing you for the first time, I don't think there will be any, any such people. But Pratham is dropped out of school and directly started working in various startups, and he's now working at Eclipse Laboratories for blockchain development, and he has been doing a lot of great stuff on all different platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and he's posting great things. So everyone who is watching for the first time, do follow him everywhere. I'll put the links.
Just thank you so much for having me
Yeah.
again on the podcast. Really enjoyed the first one, and I think this one will also be really amazing. So, yeah, just thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So the first thing which I want to ask is, anyone who is thinking to learn blockchain development, they will think that they should learn AI, something about AI, because of all the products which are coming up. Every day there is a new product. Every day there is a new advancement. So, what do you think? Like, why will you say someone to learn blockchain development versus learning to do something in AI?
So, I think AI is definitely very important and useful technology, right? Like we've seen what ChatGPT can do, and like what all the things in generative AI. Like we saw Sora recently. All these
Right.
incredible things are happening. Um, and people draw like a parallel sort of like comparison to blockchain because blockchain is also like a very new nascent technology that's um like still in its very early stages. So I think that like you can't do. I mean, the only similarity between AI and blockchain is that they're new technologies, but
Right.
um the thing about blockchain is that it's trying to solve a different set of problems, right? So problems in decentralized finance and ownership, and it's just trying to do something totally different altogether. And I think if you really like the sort of um libertarian sort of like value that these blockchain like the ethos of what blockchain technologies are trying to do, they should work in blockchain. In fact, I think you should like learn anything just because you find the mission interesting or you
Yeah.
find the technology nice. Why I would encourage you to learn blockchain is that there's so much research going on, so much
Mm-hmm.
early development going on, and um, it's at the intersection of economics, computer science, governance, and there's so many interesting things that can still be built on top of this blockchain technology. um and like it's just very interesting and challenging problems that are still yet to be solved. And you can, if you happen to be one of the people that solve these problems in blockchain, you can make a very big impact. And uh like there are a lot of opportunities here still. So that is why I would learn blockchain. So for for example,
Mm.
um there are uh there's a lot of research being done in making blockchains faster and more efficient.
Mm.
And I think there are lots of companies working in this space, Eclipse being one of them. And like by making a faster blockchain, you can enable so many new use cases and all of that. So um, you're basically being a part of a very interesting industry that is still in its very early stages, and you get to solve really hard problems with some of the brightest people out there. So, I mean, I would say those are some of the reasons why you would want to learn blockchain. Um,
Mm.
and I personally am in this space because I like the technology. I've seen what it can do, like for payments. Like, today, if you want to send money across the globe, you have to route it through multiple banks, and there's a lot of legacy code that's involved. But with blockchains, you can instantly send like money and like money across the globe. So I think decentralized finance is like one of the more interesting use cases of crypto and blockchain so far. And then I'm also
Mm.
seeing I also just really like the research and the the new technologies that are being built on the protocol level to make these blockchains faster. So like a combination of all of that is why I work here. And obviously it's a very well-paying industry. There's a lot of people are still looking for a lot of talent, and you have great pay, great salaries, and
Hmm.
really good remote opportunities. So I think all of that combined is why I would work in crypto and blockchain.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people see it as black and white. So, like in I think 2 years back, like blockchain, everyone was talking about blockchain. There were hackathons happening, and then suddenly everything changed to AI. Then people started saying that blockchain development is dead. But like you mentioned, that there are a lot of use cases which were still valuable then also, and they are valuable now also. So, like the one you mentioned, sending money across the globe, that actually is a very nice use case. Do you know any companies which are doing it right now? I think Wise was doing it.
Yeah, I think Wise does only like normal currencies, but like for payments, Solana has their Solana Pay, and then
Okay.
there are lots of other companies that are sort of building on top of building crypto payment solutions, crypto
Got
holding
it.
solutions. Yeah, so um, I know a couple of friends that are working on that, but it just it's so hard to keep up. There's so much like
Yeah.
so
I
many
think the
companies working on the same problem.
worry about the like anyone who would like to send these payments is that they would have to first convert their money into some token and then send those tokens and then convert it back to the currency of that country, right?
Yeah, so on ramping is something of an issue, I would say. I would say it's like the main bottleneck right now for
Hmm.
like crypto payments, like you converting your let's say rupees to
Right.
Bitcoin or whatever other currency and then sending it. But I mean, now there are solutions where you can just use your credit card, send the cash, and you'll get the particular token, and then you can
Uh-huh.
use that token for payments or any applications on the blockchain. So
Hmm.
there's still work being done, but it's moving in the right. Um,
Yeah. So for from all the products that are there, like which ones do you think like right now are like not the companies but in like product itself, for example payment transfers, and what other products do you think are good areas for growth?
so I would say there's like a really interesting project, like really interesting idea that's been developing on blockchains and crypto that I've been looking into, and that's something called DePIN. So DEPIN. It's
Okay.
decentralized in a physical infrastructure network. That's the full form of it. And basically, what it is that I'll give you an example, right? So
Hmm.
right now you use your phones and like you have the sim in it and you get 5G access from all these towers across the city that live in, right? um and these towers have been set up by Geo, Airtel, or whatever other companies, and they've spent billions and billions of rupees and dollars to like build this infrastructure. But this also means that Geo and Airtel basically have a lot of power on uh, like like what sort of internet information they can censor because they own the towers, right? And they're providing the service. And like basically all they are the only ones making like money out of this. Um, Here's an alternative. Let's say I give everyone, like every person, this router, this small box, and it provides 5G coverage or like internet access in a particular area, like let's say for 50 meters or 100 meters. And then what I can do is I can pay these users for running this box, like, and providing internet to other. Now I can have this infrastructure on a blockchain where I write on the blockchain that, okay, if a user is running this internet node, I will give them these many tokens for providing this much data, like some amount of data to these many people. And basically, what you've done is you've decentralized this physical infrastructure network creation. So now
Hmm.
anyone can make their like people can make their own 5G infrastructure networks, and it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot more efficient. This is the idea of DeepIn. And it's only possible on really fast blockchains like Eclipse and Solana because, like, imagine you have like thousands of people running these boxes. You have to keep checking if they're providing the correct internet to all these people or not. So you have to have a very fast blockchain that can process all that information. So and Eclipse and Solana like are best positioned to like take care of, like, to be a part of this deep in solution.
Hmm.
Other examples are let's say right now if you want to train a machine learning model or something, so if you want to train a machine learning model, you go on AWS, you rent a GPU cluster, and then you can train your models on that.
Hmm.
Instead, like a lot of us, we have gaming PCs at home that have GPUs, just sometimes they're just not doing anything. So maybe you can make a deep in network where you basically allow people to rent other people's GPUs in exchange for tokens or whatever. And In some sense, you've created your own decentralized AWS. So Deepin is a very cool example of what's possible on the
Hmm.
blockchain that I like. Then other example is also real world assets. So like you can take
Okay.
gold, you can take houses, you can take other commodities, and you can create tokenized versions of them on the blockchain. So
Hmm.
right now, I think it's still very inefficient to trade commodities on the stock market, on
Right.
stock exchanges. Having that on the blockchain, anyone around the world can be a part of this financial system where you can trade like tokenized version of houses or gold or whatever. That's another
Hmm.
really cool use case. Then I would also
But
say,
I think in all these things, there the major blocker which they will still be facing is like regulations from the governments and all. Like for example, if you take the example of the internet, like you mentioned, so how the ISPs do it is they take it from the fiber optic, which are running. There is a one center which provides the internet to them, and they provide it to us. If we talk about the ISPs, so like how will it link to that? They would have to take the internet from somewhere,
uh,
or like
so
it is like
Uh, so, uh, with the idea that I was explaining, so there's already a company that does it, and it's called Helium.
okay,
So
okay,
Helium, if you search for it on Google, like they're basically, you know how you get those 5G boxes, like portable
right,
boxes. You don't have to connect it anywhere. Like it has a SIM of its own, and it's sort of like a peer-to-peer network.
hmm.
I don't think. I mean, in this case, regulation wouldn't really matter. I think
Yeah, in
like
this case it won't.
regulation comes into play where you have anything related to DeFi, like I think
Right.
that's one place we have like a lot of regulation. Like you like you're I think it's illegal to tokenize stocks on the blockchain,
Hmm.
so you can't have Nvidia or Tesla stock as a token on the blockchain.
Right.
I think there have been legal issues there. But I mean, it's again, we're still like very new industry, lots of
Right.
problems still being figured out. But I think recently we had the Bitcoin ETF that got approved, so like things are moving in the right direction, and I think
Okay.
the proper good regulations are still being put into place, and it's being worked upon.
Yeah, like these are pretty interesting use cases. I didn't know about Deepin, but yeah, it definitely sounds very interesting. I will definitely read about it. And yeah, I think the main idea behind it is to not keep the power in one hand, like which is the ISP or like Geo you mentioned,
Yeah,
and
and
decentralize it.
yeah, and you give regular people the opportunity to participate in economies that, weren't really possible. Like today, if I wanted to, let's say, be a part of, like, I mean, the only way I could profit or make money by being a part of the internet is by being geo. I mean, like one person, that's
Right.
impossible, right? Exactly. So,
Hmm.
like, like you're basically creating new economies that were not possible before. So, yeah, one of the
Nice.
coolest use cases of blockchain.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Uh, so suppose like I'm a college student right now and I just know data structures and algorithms and maybe just one language, be it Python, C++, and I'm still struggling to know like which field to take up, like AI, blockchain development. Suppose I choose blockchain development, and what should be the steps I should take from here?
So I categorize like blockchain development broadly into two parts, right? One you can focus on is working on the blockchain itself, like
Hmm.
how can you make the blockchain faster? Like essentially, a blockchain is this decentralized system, right? So like there, how you would like make sure the blockchain network is healthy, how like the nodes are communicating with each other, are the computations happening fast enough? Like that low level stuff, you can work on that also. That is the protocol side of things. If you're interested in like the block, like building better blockchains itself. And then the part other part is where you build applications on top of the blockchain. So both really interesting fields, I would say. And I guess if you're interested in the first part where you want to build blockchains, I think you it would be really helpful to learn decentralized, take a course on decentralized systems, um, probably work on Rust, Golang. Those are the popular languages. So Go is used for Ethereum, a lot in
Mm.
Ethereum, also in the Cosmos ecosystem, and Rust is very much used in Solana, Eclipse, and other
Right.
blockchains. So I would learn that. And you also need to know a little bit of. I would say not a little bit. You would have to know quite a bit of cryptography, maths, all that. So it's more low level. And the second for the second type of people who want to build applications on top of the blockchain, I here again you have two paths to take, right? Like how what I would consider. So one you can go in is the Ethereum ecosystem, and the second one you can go is in the Solana slash Eclipse ecosystem. So in the Ethereum ecosystem, like I think both are good, but I'll get into why you would want to learn either. So in the Ethereum ecosystem, Ethereum you use a language called Solidity, which is like it's
Mm.
a mix. It feels like a mix of Python, JavaScript, and but it's a pretty straightforward language to learn. So I would learn
Wow.
Solidity. I would learn JavaScript for sure, and I would learn a front end framework like React, or React is probably your best bet. If you know
Mm.
these three, I think you're pretty much good to go. And then other than that, if you've done DSA and all, you should also do some basics like how to use a Linux terminal, all that stuff.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and and then you can basically get started with building all these DeFi like applications. Like you can make a payment solution, you can make uh, you can make all sorts of things. So this is
Mm.
on the Ethereum side of things. Um, Now my favorite, and this is somewhat of a bias, but the Solana and the Eclipse ecosystem. So Solana and Eclipse, the development is basically the same. Eclipse has some under the hood changes that add on top of like what Solana is doing. So here you would learn Rust for making the smart contracts, the programs itself, and then you pair that with JavaScript or TypeScript, and again the same things like Linux commands, all that. Now here's the distinction. I will say that Ethereum tooling is a lot more mature and it's quite a bit easier than like the Solana ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
but the kind of applications that you can build are somewhat you can build slightly less powerful applications than what you can do on Solana and Eclipse. On Solana and Eclipse
Okay.
there's a bit of a learning curve because you're using Rust, and it's still like kind of a new technology. But the example I gave of Deepin, like those sort of cutting edge problems can only
Mm-hmm.
be done on Eclipse and Solana. So I would
Mm.
say pick either. Both are good, but if I were you, I would definitely look into Solana and Eclipse ecosystem. And there are so many new use cases that are enabled just by like a really fast and efficient blockchain is here. Those
Okay.
are the like all the options of being a blockchain developer.
So let's talk about the first option first. So, for example, if I want to go into the core, you mentioned some languages which I should learn. But what should be like some small projects which I can build with those languages for just a start, or some places which I can follow to read about them.
So I think for like the core protocol development, I think first of all get a really good grasp of how uh, on Ethereum you have Golang, on like Solana, Eclipse you have Rust. So first I would be really proficient in that because the reason why I say that is because in order to like the I think the best way to learn about protocol development is just to go into the code and seeing how the protocol itself works. So there are multiple parts of a blockchain, right? There is a part that
Hmm.
executes the transactions, there's a part that makes sure that all the nodes are in sync with each other, there's a part that stores the data of the blockchain, there's a part that does other safety measures, so like lots of moving parts, right? And in order to like learn how each single part works, you just have to go and read the code. So first I would say be really proficient in Golang or Rust. That's the first step. And second thing, I would just go into these projects, and you can have Chat GPT open on the side and then read through the code. Okay, like this is the part of the blockchain that stores the data. Then you can
Hmm.
see like how it's exactly communicating that information across all the nodes, and how it's going. So I like that is one really good way to start. Then there are lots of websites also. So I think
Okay.
for Ethereum there is, you can learn about Ethereum opcodes. So like you
Hmm.
have processors that have opcodes. Similarly,
Right.
the execution machine of Ethereum, that also has opcodes and all. So there are websites
Got
for
it.
that. I think I'll give Sukhand the link so that he can put it in the description. But
Yeah.
and I'll also put this on the Eclipse Discord. Like
Hmm.
these, like yeah, you can use these as references for whenever you're learning protocol development. Uh, but I would say the best way is to just go into the code bases and read it. So for Eclipse, you can just go to the Eclipse GitHub and see the Eclipse node repository, and like see what the code is doing, how it's working, and same for Ethereum and everything else. And start by making small contributions. Like if you see there's a particular optimization that can be done, or like things like that, just try making pull requests, and that's the best way to go about it. I will say that this has a bit of a steep learning curve, so
Right.
it takes some time to like understand how everything's working.
But generally, what I've seen in making pull requests or changes is that a lot of people are trying to do that. Can't be always the first person who picks up that and does it. So, and generally, which are the things which are available, they might not be like something which you can learn. Or like they're kind of sometimes very simple things or some very complex things. There's no middle ground, or the middle grounds are mostly taken up by a lot of people. So, like if someone has to build a side like project itself from themselves.
I think there's a really good course on by MIT on distributed systems, and there you will like learn how to make linked lists. And I mean, if you think of it, a blockchain is essentially a linked list
Right.
with like consensus and other things attached to it. Um, and I think that that course on MIT, that's a good place to start. It's called distributed systems, and there they will actually, I think, teach you how to um like build your own distributed system, and that will give you a good starting place to like think of how these blockchain protocols work. There are new attachments or plugins, I guess you would call it, that are being made for a lot of these protocols to like enhance their security or how they function. So like and blockchains are basically lots of computers distributed nodes, you call them, right,
Hmm.
that are distributed in lots of places. And but now there's this new area of research where they're making light nodes. So these are nodes that do only certain part of the computation of the blockchain, but it's lighter so that you can run it on your phone or like a smaller device or something like that. So trying to, I think light nodes can be an interesting project to look into. And like I guess again, just go and read the code for an Ethereum light node or like a Solana light node. I think that will like really help you, I guess, get an understanding of how these protocols are built and how they work. But I mean, again, I think it all comes back to just going through the code base and like seeing the comments, and typically there's also documentation attached with the code base that you can read. But yeah,
Okay.
I think this is how you learn most low level like
Hmm.
development
Right.
in.
And now talking about the second part which you talked about, like building applications on Eclipse or building applications on Ethereum. Some good projects which you think are a good start, which are small projects, like few weeks maybe.
Yeah, sure. So I think the very first thing, Hello World, obviously, that's like the
Okay.
starting place. But then minting NFTs, pretty standard project. You will
Okay.
get to know how token standards work. And like speaking of token standards, you can also make tokens on Eclipse, or make tokens on top of Ethereum. Another good project to do. Then there is something called a stable. This is a more advanced project, but there's something called as a stable coin. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
you have the US dollar, but on the blockchain.
USDT. Right.
Yes, yes, yes. And the
Yeah.
value of that is always $1.
Right.
Like there's something called an algorithmic stablecoin, and there's a
Hmm.
really good core like YouTube tutorial that goes on how to make a, just search for how to make a stablecoin.
Hmm.
So again, very interesting project. I would recommend checking that out. then you can also make a name service. A name service is basically, you know how like there's DNS or like
DNS. Yeah. Right.
yeah, yeah, like a domain name service, like you have
Right.
prathamprasoon.com, and then it
Right.
points to some server somewhere, whatever.
Right.
On blockchain, also, you can make a name service where basically
Mm-hmm.
you can have prathamprasoon.eclipse, and that will point to my Eclipse wallet. So when people send money to
Oh,
prathamprasoon.eclipse, it sends money to my account on Eclipse, so to speak.
got it.
I've worked on name services multiple times, and it's a really interesting project to pick up as well.
Okay.
Other than that, you can work on some small games, where like let's say building a tic-tac-toe version on the blockchain, where the computation of like the AI happens on the blockchain itself. That's an interesting project to think about. And there you can think about how to make the AI efficient so that it consumes less gas fees or whatever. Uh, interesting, interesting project as well. Um,
Hmm.
and then you can think of Deepin, of course. You can make
Deepen.
like uh, I think I had this idea for a Deepin project where, um, like where you have these lots of AI models running in the cloud, like, and
Hmm.
the newer MacBooks that you have, they have a special AI chip in it that allows for really fast AI computations. So you can
Hmm.
run Chat GPT like LLMs on your MacBook itself. Now I was
Okay.
wondering if people sometimes, my MacBook is just lying around right now, it's not doing anything, so maybe I could rent it on the blockchain so that someone else could use that AI engine to run a Chat GPT like mod or something while I'm not using it, and then I can get some tokens for it in return for
Right.
providing the service. So like the you can I think deeper projects are really cool too. And here you can combine AI and blockchain, like really good combinations can come out of that. So I would say these sorts of projects are really good. And
Okay.
uh, yeah, then it's like up to your then you
Yeah.
can like build on top of these, add more features and whatnot. But I'd say this is a pretty good selection of projects.
Yeah. People will figure out new things when they are building like any one of these new things keep coming along. Right. Right. Okay. So, suppose now I have a basic understanding of blockchain and I took one of these paths. Now, what's the best way to find jobs and create opportunities?
Yeah. So I think the best way to get jobs like unlike other industries, what I've noticed is that on blockchain, that's mostly about your work and your sort of place in the community that you've built over time, right? So
Okay.
if you're into protocol development, I would highly encourage you to like contribute to protocols, like maybe help build a feature for the Eclipse blockchain, or help build a feature for some other chain, or do something like that. And fun fact,
And how
like a
can
lot
we
of
do that? How like
just
some features there and we want to contribute to it?
you can make generally you can make proposals on like GitHub itself and put it as a pull
Hmm.
request. And
Okay.
like and like a lot of developers who have contributed to these early like development of like all these protocols, when these protocols go live and they have tokens, like a lot of the times developers are rewarded with part of the tokens and whatnot. So again, like there's an incentive for you to do these things as well. But other than that, you can actually show on your resume when you're applying to a job
Hmm.
or as a protocol engineer that, okay, I contributed to the Eclipse blockchain and I solved this feature where I made the block times faster, or I made the execution part of, or I did something like, you can give
Hmm.
concrete examples. And once you get these sort of like when once you show a proof of work, I would say definitely put that on Twitter, share it with people. Also talk to people on Discord, like the Eclipse Discord, that is there. Interact with people, and literally you can just be friends with a lot of people, and that's how you can get jobs. Like in my case, I was working for Celestia. Like they had this 3-month cohort. So Celestia is
Hmm.
another blockchain company. And just by my work, Eclipse noticed me, and that's how I was hired here. So
Okay.
these connections really like help. And as I said again, like blockchain, they just look at your merit and the work you've
Hmm.
done. Other than that, I would say you can also definitely participate in hackathons. Like
Hmm.
Solana runs hackathons, and soon
Right.
We're planning hackathons at Eclipse as well. All
Hmm.
these really great places to contribute. You can win cash prizes. You can make friends, like be a part of the community. I think these are fantastic opportunities that you can take part of. So make pull requests, share it on Twitter, make more projects, interact with people, stay active on Discord, participate in hackathons, and this is like one of the best ways to get jobs in crypto. And
Okay.
uh, other than jobs, another thing I would highly recommend is that you can make projects of your own and apply for grants on these blockchains.
Okay.
So you can get paid to build your own startup, and
Okay.
be supported by these blockchain ecosystems. So I received in about 2 years ago, I was working on a project with some of my friends, and I received a $10,000 grant from a protocol.
Okay.
So um, lots of freelance and these sort of opportunities are also there. So I think all of that is how you can be a part of crypto and blockchain.
Okay. Great. Yeah, this seems like a great way to like contribute to these communities and then maybe showcase on different platforms. Yeah, I think that's the best way. And is there any website which someone can go through to maybe look at jobs? Someone suppose is doing all these things but is still not being reached out by any of these places.
I think that in most cases it helps to just cold DM the founder of a company. So let's say
Okay.
I'm really interested in Eclipse. I would just like try to mail me or like someone on my team that okay, I'm this engineer. I have done this experience and I've contributed this. I think that I can be like a part of the engineering team and I can help here. So I want to apply for a job. And that is one way to go about it. Other than that, you can also go to the careers pages of lots of these blockchain companies. Like they'll have a
Hmm.
careers part of the place, and you can just go on that and see job openings. That's another great place to apply. And then I would just again, as you keep talking to more people, you'll get to know about opportunities and all of that.
Hmm.
Which is why it is important to be part of like Discord communities, be on Twitter, all of that. So um,
Okay.
it's just reach out to people, show your work, and
Hmm.
um, be very proactive. I would say that really helps in getting jobs in this space.
Okay. So now let's talk about like what you are working on at Eclipse, and also talk about like the Discord server about Eclipse, so that people can join in and maybe learn a few things from there too.
Yeah, sure. So for the first 6 7 months, I was doing solutions engineering at Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
So it involved like lots of different things. I was working on some DevOps things with Terraform and Google Cloud, Kubernetes, little bit of that. Lots of like Linux, managing containers, managing Docker, and things like that. And then I was also like building front end dashboards, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on here and there I was writing a bit about Eclipse as well, just like sharing it on my
Okay.
Twitter and all of that. That was my role for the first 6 7 months. But for the last 5 months, now I lead developer relations at Eclipse.
Hmm.
And now my job is to basically help developers that are watching, like your subscribers and your viewers, to like help them to build applications on Eclipse and get started with blockchain development. So I've been
Okay.
really focused on. I've been trying out like a lot of the developer tools in like the Eclipse ecosystem so that we can improve them and make it easier for all of you to follow along.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like we're improving our documentation, and I'm being a part of
Hmm.
this podcast. That's a part of my job. So
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
um, it's a combination of all these things, and I'm also like involved with the business development team to help close deals and like help on that front as well. Um, and I'm also working on that developer education. So this is kind of a like thing for your viewers. Like we've
Hmm.
been working on this blockchain course end to end, blockchain course like from
Okay.
the start to the end, and we have like really good people that are taking this course. So that it'll be launched in a couple of, I would say, take maybe a month or so, but that's also like part of my job. And
Okay.
yeah, just helping developers succeed on Eclipse.
And who will be teaching in that course? You be teaching or the other developers?
So I will be there, and there will be
Okay.
other very prominent folks from like prominent folks from other communities, really good developers, academics, like
Hmm.
professors, and like lots of really interesting people. And we'll go from theory to uh, practical projects and hands-on coding and all those sessions. Pretty excited about that, but it's going to take a while to develop. We're working on it.
Okay. And how can one join these and like know about when it is launched?
So you can follow me on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
and on Instagram, and then yeah, our Discord server and WhatsApp groups. Those are also where you'll get the latest communication. Uh,
Okay.
and it'll be fully free. We will never ask you to like pay for this course. So
Mm-hmm.
I just want as many of you as possible to like learn about Eclipse and develop all the like applications that you want to. So with that in mind, this is open to everyone, and you might even get a surprise for completing the course. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I think everyone who's watching this should definitely take part in this course because it is free also and you're going to learn a lot of things. And who knows, maybe you can also be a part of Eclipse and maybe build things like not even on Eclipse or maybe build Eclipse even further.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we're here to support all developers, and uh, we'd love to see what all of you guys want to build with us. So like happy to help.
Okay. And if someone wants to see any opportunities, for example, to join Eclipse, they will need to join. They can apply through careers page, or like, what should be the best way?
I think go through the careers page for sure. Join the WhatsApp and Discord server. Like that's also a really good place to keep up with announcements. And we keep posting regularly if you're looking for engineers or hiring for talent.
Hmm.
So really good places to get started. And
Okay.
apart from applying for jobs and all, if you want to build products, definitely give me a DM and with the project idea that you have, and we're here to support you in whatever way possible.
Yeah, this seems like a great opportunity for anyone who is trying to get into blockchain development, and I think they should take it.